Last week I recorded a video and posted it having to do with NoFap, with sexual mastery, and with body practices which facilitate spiritual betterment or advancement. There's a second part to that NoFap thing, which is not abstaining from wrongdoing as you see it, but of what happens when you do. We are humans, we are fallible, we sin, we miss the mark. Now, the idea of original sin has changed a lot over the years. There's the way Christians look at it, there's the way the Hebrews look at it, and there's the way that is written in the actual Bible, right? Before the flood and after the flood, when God says, I will no longer punish the earth for the wrongdoings of man because man's inclination is evil. There's that aspect of it, but I want to talk more in a modern sense and what I have learned over the years. So I'll give you the gist of it. Guilt is horrible. Guilt is something that drags you down to the depths and does not give you a way out. Many times, and this is the vast difference between guilt and shame, I found over the years that guilt has just tortured me to no end, but shame actually has a lot of benefit. Guilt is the actual physical state of whether you are guilty of something or not. Shame, on the other hand, is the feeling that comes with that physical state. Shame is something that causes you to feel bad inside because of something you did. Now, both of those have their place, I guess, but I know that with me personally, and especially with religion and sexuality, I had a lot of guilt for many, many years, and it dragged me down in a downward spiral that I could not escape of. And the way that I escaped from it was not from any religious practice, actually, though I don't doubt that it's doable through those methods. It was through therapy. What it taught me, basically, regarding shame and guilt, is that guilt for me is a poison, and shame has the potential of being a cure. Because shame that I feel helps me to act. It makes me more accountable. It makes me more responsible. It's not just me being self-critical. It's being self-critical and knowing that I'm better and striving to be better, and that makes all the difference. Whether or not mankind is born into sin, born through sin, I don't know. However you choose to look at it, you need to break it down to the level of the individual. You can use the archetypes, you can use verses, you can use anyone you want from any sacred book or teaching, but eventually it's just you and yourself. So you need to really think about this. I know that I needed to. Shame. What good things can you take from it? Guilt. What good things can you take from it? The bad things are obvious. The negatives are obvious. It makes you feel like crap, especially some people who have this perfectionism in them, which forces them to immediately live up to all kinds of expectations or teachings which they want to imbibe, and live according to. But that's a double-edged sword, and you got to be very careful about the things you put yourself through. And it starts and stops with your own courage. You need to be courageous, especially having to do with religion, with sex and sexuality, and abstaining from such things. I mean, pornography is such a huge epidemic these days. It's causing marriages to fall apart, homes to break up, and people to commit just horrible acts against themselves, whether emotionally or physically. And there's a lot to be said for it, but I'm going to stop here and maybe we'll continue another time.